I think it's unfortunate with the situation that's going on with the Wizard Liz. But the signs were there. The signs were there from the jump.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Let's get into the video.
The Wizard Liz wants to tell us now that the man she chose to have a baby with is a racist, Islamophobic, likes to wear eyeliner, and suggested that he's attracted to her own brother. And broke. Emphasis on chose to have a baby with him. You see, the reason why I am unfazed and lack empathy for women like the Wizard Liz is because they are the type of pick-me women where they know their man's character, but they do not care when they are benefiting from that man. Who he is as a person and all the questionable things about his moral character does not matter because money is her master and she measured the value of a man based on how much he spends on her. And I very much lack empathy when she was the same woman who dragged and berated and insulted his ex when she came out and said, hey girl, he is not the man you think he is. She literally went on Instagram and called this woman a prostitute and said that because she takes money from men for services that she's not credible. That a woman is not credible if she engages in those affairs. So not only did you slut shame her, but you defended this man through and through, and now you want me to feel bad when he does it to you? Get the hell out of here. But when times were good between y'all, you want to brag about how he's such an amazing man and follow her advice and manifest like her to get a man like hers. Didn't she tell y'all that she manifested this man and was making money on YouTube playing loops? I don't listen to women who want to tell me how horrible of a person their man is after their man is horrible to them. Anyways, who I feel bad for is the child that was brought into this dynamic when both parents are clearly immature and did not have the best intentions to think about that child's future. Women love to talk about manipulation, but all the signs were there and they just turned a blind eye because sunshines and rainbow and rose-colored glasses. Oh, and money.
If we can take away anything from this very sad Wizard Liz situation, it's that we need to stop listening to people's dating and marriage advice online. He should make this much, he should buy you these gifts, he should pay for this rent. No, just lead with love every single time. Make sure he's a good, kind person with a good heart, a good soul. Make sure he has a good family and good friendship group who can hold him accountable. And lastly, make sure you know him properly before you marry him and before you have a baby with him. Most importantly, as we say all the time, as a woman, make sure you have your own shit in case things go wrong. So you have the money and means to fight these crazy men in court so they can't take your babies. We see the same thing with Philip Klein. We always see this shit. Stay safe out there, ladies. These men are crazy.
This whole Wizard Liz situation has revealed a few things to me. And these are things that I already knew, but it's just becoming so evident in like such a public way that it's just astonishing. The first is that a lot of people, both on the internet and in real life, like your own fucking family, people are preying on the downfall of successful women. That's the reality. A lot of people now are making either a mockery of her or saying that she deserves this because they were envious of her. And people like that were literally waiting to watch her fall because they hate the position that they're in their own lives, and they hate seeing people above them. So most of these people who have literally zero sympathy for her are those people who prey on the downfall of successful women. 2, a lot of men will purposely pursue women that are successful, that are beautiful, that are even above them, simply to humble them. There are a lot of men in this world who literally prey after women like that because they get off on knowing that they destroyed a woman like that. So it's no surprise to me that a lot of people are pointing out the fact that he studied her for years to be able to pretty much con her. 3, no woman is immune to this type of shit happening to them. Even someone like me who always says fuck the patriarchy, fuck marriage, all that shit, fuck men. Even someone like me, even someone like Liz is not immune to this type of abuse. Because unfortunately, we are all human and we all crave love and connection. Even those of us who know the dangers of these types of relationships, of marriage in general, we ultimately, a lot of us still crave it. And we're not immune to something like this happening to us. So do not ever, ever say, oh, that could never be me. Because God will humble you even quicker than that came out of your mouth. I don't know what number point I'm on. I think I'm on number 4. But a lot of these people on the internet who are teaching you manifestation, and this is coming from someone who strongly believes in the power of believing. Like, I believe in the power of manifestation. But a lot of people who are preaching it on the internet, even if they themselves are good manifestors, I don't know how to put this into words, but they know what's going to get them a platform. And they know that in the past few years, there's been a huge interest in the general public with things like manifestation. And some people have taken that topic the same way that some people have taken social issues and ran with them for attention and clout. And this is no shade to Wizard Liz at all. It's just the reality. A lot of people have found out that they can build platforms talking about certain topics that they're not actually really qualified to talk about. And this is something that I will kind of shade her for, always believe the ex. Always believe the ex. If somebody's ex reaches out to you and talks about how they were abusive and racist and all this like crazy shit, believe it. Like, one thing that I will not defend her for is the fact that she helped her ex pursue his ex legally. Like, she helped try to destroy another woman who came to her to warn her about this exact thing. And that, I can't even defend you about that. Ladies, the ex that he calls crazy, that's the ex that knows who the fuck that person is. Yeah, this whole thing is just honestly so bizarre, which is why, like, y'all just gotta stop, one, comparing your lives to people like Wizard Liz, because comparison is the thief of joy. Is that the saying? I don't know, bitch.
Glow different this summer. The Vaseline Illuminate Me Body Butter and Glow Oil set is that combo. Deep hydration, radiant shimmer glow, perfect for melanin-rich skin. Moisturize plus glowing at the same time? Yes please. Soft skin, shiny glow, all in one. Get it as a combo or separately at an affordable price. Link in the description below.
You guys want to demonize single mothers and say like, oh, she left a man, she's a single mom now, blah blah. It's much better to be a single mother, to have your own stability and to take care of a child in a loving way, than to sit with someone that comes home with STDs and you can't even sleep with them, than to sit with someone that lies to you every single day.
I've never been a fan of the Wizard Liz. I tried to get into her content and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older. Not to say that people who are younger can't be wise, but I just saw right through it. Like, if you're older or have experienced life longer than 25, I just don't know how you can get to her content. She just comes across as someone who hasn't experienced much but thinks I'm the smartest woman in the world, which we all did think at some point, and now we know that we're just babies. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is it's really sad to see how your life can change, or how quickly a man can deter you, or is it deter you from your goals. Not to say she can't come back from it. There are plenty single mothers out there who are killing her, everything. But just watching this video and seeing the language switch, seeing body language, she's visibly hurt. Like, there's so much going on. When she first announced the cheating scandal, again, coming from someone older, it was too quick. I think she did it out of fear, or maybe she panicked and was upset and announced it. And then after you settle, you sit in it, you look around, you're like, oh, maybe you want to have a conversation. And because of your previous videos being very black and white and bashing and leaving no room for human error, like, we all try to be the strict person, the strict babe, we've all taken an L here or there, and that's what life experiences teaches you, that the minute you say it can never be you, life will show you it's very much your name on that door. So no, I don't even derive any joy from this. It's honestly, it's so painful and annoying to see yet another example, but this is just a PSA to really be careful. No matter how perfect someone can be or sound, clearly he was watching her. You don't know the right words he used. I'm not really sure what someone can do to get me pregnant, but you get my point. Like, life teaches you to make room or accommodate people because we're all humans and we are all flawed. And sometimes when we are placed in a position of privilege, we are blinded. You're 25 and you have your own home. It doesn't mean that everyone that is younger than you that hasn't achieved that is lazy. You know, they're just different things. I just thought to share that, and it's also just like a reminder to us all that always pick yourself first. Truly, not just saying it online.
What can we all learn as a collective with this Wizard Liz and Landon debacle? Number one, it is the single most important decision you will ever make in your life, the person you choose to procreate with. She had been with this toad for roughly 8 months, just from what I saw in comments. It is your responsibility to qualify and do your due diligence on the man that you open your realm to and your portal. By that I mean your womb. If you give access to a man who is unqualified, he will fail. He will genuinely show himself and his true colors because the foundational work was not done to identify whether he was worthy. The really upsetting thing is that this unborn child never asked to be born, right? And the emotions that the mother is feeling inside the womb will all energetically be fed to the baby. Now, this is obviously an unfortunate set of circumstances, but I predict that this will actually work out in her favor. Her whole ethos, her whole brand is one of self-empowerment, of being able to transmute pain into power. I have a feeling that this is going to catapult her and give her the gasoline that she needs to create an even stronger brand and to help women to identify and wake up to your own power. Now, as a collective, it's easy for us to sit on our backsides and to comment on some stranger's life, but she was a public figure and she was someone that a lot of people look up to and admire. Rather than bathe in hatred for this stupid man, we can collectively take the lessons, learn, and apply it to our own lives. So, number one lesson, qualify the man. When you are dating someone, it's kind of like a job interview. I'm identifying whether my standards, what I need in order to be fulfilled, whether that aligns with your skill set. Like, do your values, your character, how you operate, your soul posture, is all of that inherently what I would want my future child and a future family to be built from? We really have to do the work, ladies. And I know the luggage seems tough and heavy, but it is so important, not only for yourself, but for your future unborn children.
Here's my opinion on the Wizard Liz and why I think she lives in La La Land. And I know people are going to say, girl, be humble. This can happen to you. No, it would never happen to me. I would never have a baby with a man that I know for less than a year. I would never have a baby with a man in another country where I don't have citizenship in, because a child is not a toy. It's not where you just pick it up and put it on a plane and take it to another country. Okay, you got to think about the legality of things. And that's why I think that she lives in La La Land. Second of all, I noticed that she said, if it wasn't for me, Landon, your mom would not be in a house right now. If it wasn't for me, or your mom lives in a house because of me. Okay, so you had a baby with a man that couldn't put his mom in a house. Maybe he could, but it just wasn't his priority. So why are you going out of your way to put the mother in a house? Second of all, why does that man know how much money you're making? I don't know how far along the pregnancy she was when she had found out that he had cheated on her, but it should have been dealt with accordingly. That's all I'm going to say. I had tried to watch her videos, but genuinely always felt like she was just not thinking about reality. She would talk about princess treatment and it would be too much about emotions and how he made you feel, and he can make you feel whatever type of way to get you where he wants you to be. Okay? And look at how it turned out. You got to think about the finances and you got to think about the legality. You got to think about what's written on paper. Are they even married? That's why I say I don't think that they worked the legality. She didn't think about this enough. And also, another thing that was kind of odd to me is that when she had got cheated on, she went on the internet. But then she, again, says she recognizes that he's a narcissist. That man is not going to care how much you slander him on the internet. So that was kind of confusing to me. That was a red flag. But again, not saying what he's doing is right. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's unfortunate with the situation that's going on with the Wizard Liz. But the signs were there. The signs were there from the jump. From how she met him. From the other lady telling her in her DMs, like, hey, beware of this man. And so, and some other little things about what the guy did to her. I think we all, like women, I think we can learn from her situation. Like, if you're going to walk the walk, talk the talk, you might as well walk the walk. You might as well stand on what you say. Because that man, clearly, he sensed out some flaws out of her. And said, okay, let me test that shit on her. Let me test what she really preaching on the net. That, oh, she's this and that. Like, let me see her. Let me see what I could do to her. And that's what happened. She wasn't really standing on what she was preaching. And that's how she fell to deception to that man. And I don't want to bash her. I just want to give her grace. Because it could happen to me. It could happen to anyone, matter of fact. But we should learn that once someone, the universe, gives you a sign, take it and leave. If she had listened to that woman that confessed to her, that told her about that man, none of this wouldn't happen. But now she's living something that she never wanted to live at all. And it sucks. It sucks that she can't get her baby. It sucks that all this has happened to her. It's unfortunate. So I'm giving her grace. And I wish others would too. But she needs to understand, and women all around need to understand, that when God, the source, a person, tells you about another person, take that in consideration and don't stay there to find out and fuck around. No. Fucking take that as a sign and leave. Because that was clearly a warning. It was clearly a fucking warning for Wizard Liz.
Okay, so the question, why did I decide to marry him so fast? I literally, when I shouldn't have done that, first of all. But second of all, like, I thought, like, okay, I'm 25 now, let me just get married, let me have a kid. Like, I really wanted to. And when I met him, I really did fall in love with this guy, because this guy was really good to me. And even, like, if I had never found out about the cheating, this guy would have continued playing this role. Like, he would have never changed. So I would have still been probably very in love with him and thought he was an amazing guy. But it's just because I found out who he was that he completely switched and became his true self. But I think for you to fake for a year who you are is really, really insane. Like, it's really mentally insane. Like, I thought, like, after 3 months you know someone or whatever, or you know how they are, but you never know someone. Never, ever.
The whole I am 25, I am 30 soon my time is running out mindset, I need to get married and have children right now mindset is going to destroy a lot of women with potential, a lot of successful women. This mindset is going to destroy a lot of women more than anything else. And the truth remains that if you are a woman who heavily romanticizes or pedestalizes becoming a wife and a mother, you are automatically at greater risk of being embarrassed and being manipulated by men just because you have this desire, right? Let's tell ourselves the truth. And I do not care how nice a man appears in the beginning. Another video, she did say that he was giving her gifts, which brings me to the next point. Money doesn't make a man inherently good. A man buying you gifts, spending money on you, paying your bills, none of these things automatically make him or label him a good person. Relationships should be built on much more than money or transaction. And quite frankly, many men only have money to offer. And most men who do this to manipulate women because they know that this is an easy, trusted way to gain gain emotional access, right? If you're a woman who is easily swayed by this material resources and material things, you are at risk, right? There are many more things to evaluate in a person aside money and financial resources. You have to evaluate character, their values, their integrity, emotional intelligence, their perception of women, their perception of life, their relationship with power, the way they speak. You have to read in between the lines. It's not just about money. And the fact that she gave him so much access to her within 3 months, it's a very huge red flag. You cannot trust somebody in such a short period of time. I don't care if they're sending you millions every day. Your love and your trust should not be easily bought. Another truth that I want to point out here that I always see on this page as well is that men lie. The man you meet today is not necessarily the same person you would have in the next 2 to 5 years from now. Go and ask women who believe that they got with the best and the most exceptional man on earth. They ended up not to be the case few years down the line. But many men are capable of performing an identity long enough to secure what they want, to secure your labor, to secure your womb, to secure your ability to build a family. Being a woman, especially a woman who strongly desires marriage and children, means that you possess something that many men value very highly, right? Like I said before, your desire, right? The fact that you desire marriage and children puts you at risk to be manipulated by a man. They will perform to care about emotional connection, love, all these things just to secure that, just to have a baby with you, just to marry you and secure your labor, to secure your good qualities, to secure your money even. And another thing, one thing I always say, you are not special. No woman is uniquely exempt from disappointment. A lot of women would watch situations like this, would see Wizard Liz and be like, well, she would have chosen better. She ignored the signs. That would never be me. Meanwhile, this is a woman who publicly spoke about choosing better, creating a healthy family, wanting healthy relationship dynamic because she came from a dysfunctional background and getting women to manifest and all that. So you would have thought that if anybody was going to pick right, it would be her. But yet this happened to her. You are not automatically going to receive a better man or a better outcome because you are smarter or because you are more self-aware or there's something special about you, right? Even if you wait 2 years instead of 3 months, there's still no guarantee that the man that you end up with a few years down the line, even in the 3rd year, would be the same. People change, right? Especially men, they change. They can pretend because they are so autonomous and society backs them up in their autonomy. So being with a man always would carry that level of risk, right? Because of how men are socialized. This brings me to the biggest point, right? The freest women are women who have genuinely decentered marriage and decentered having kids, decentered societal expectations. And I know that not every woman would get to this point in their lifetime. But the truth remains that once you stop centering marriage, you stop caring about marriage and children as a finish line, you become significantly harder to manipulate, harder to control, because what is it going to control you with? When I used to strongly desire marriage and kids, and I noticed that I would stay in situations longer because there was this finish line. If I stay with him long enough, he's going to give me a ring. When you have this desire to tolerate more because you have something that you're looking forward to, right? But once you genuinely stop centering these things, then you are significantly harder to manipulate because there's nothing left to dangle in front of you. Because I would never have a man's child, then there's no permanent avenue for a man to tie me to him for life because I would never have your babies. That to me is one of the greatest form of freedom. Now, if you're a woman who deeply desires marriage and children, the only advice I can give you is that you should be so in touch with your intuition. You should use discernment. Be careful, take your time, pay attention, but There is no amount of discernment that can make you 100% safe from a man's true intentions, right? And anybody selling you one foolproof formula to guarantee a man's lifelong commitment to you is lying to you. There's no guarantee. As long as you are with a man, as long as you're going to have his babies, especially that, there is a risk involved. Where there is a man, there is a risk of disappointment. Some women would have a better outcome than others, but there's always risk involved. And the reality remains that women usually have far more to lose in these situations than men do.
The wizard Liz is living an actual nightmare. She was a girl boss. She was a manifester. And for a moment, it seemed that she had it all. She had riches. She had millions of followers. She had the boyfriend of her dreams. She was expecting a baby. And everything became upside down when she and her boyfriend, Landon, I called him Brandon in my last post, and her broke up. And she realized he was not the one. And what this wake-up call is for women in this situation is that women are not entitled to custody of their children. And I'm telling you this as a family law attorney in New York. Just because you had a baby, nursed the baby, carried the baby, are attached, as all mothers are, especially in the beginning, to their baby, in the end, it really doesn't amount to much under today's custody laws. And women need to really hear this, and men need to hear it too, because one of the number one lessons in family law is be careful who you have children with. You can even survive a marriage with someone, but once you bring children into the picture, actually you bring the children into any relationship, you are stuck with that other parent, probably for life in some ways. It's not just until your children are 18. That person is going to be in your life because, of course, they're going to be in your child's life. So what are we to do with Wizard Liz's situation? She is now stuck with a malevolent co-parent who is, and to make matters worse, she has a terrible immigration situation. She's actually out of the country while the person that she's had this child with actually has the child. The father has primary physical custody, which is normal under our custody laws and our immigration laws. She wasn't allowed to take the child out of the country. Right now, she is venting on social media. She very much feels like a victim, and maybe she is a victim of this man. But the fact is, you cannot take a child out of the country without the consent of the father. And he's being advised by lawyers just as she is. And on that note, she needs to stop talking. She needs to be quiet. She needs to stop engaging with this man, with her followers. She's giving evidence on her videos that is actually helping her ex in a potential custody battle. In one video, she admitted like she hit him or something. She needs to stop. And if she were my client, I would say, zip it. Be quiet. Because in all likelihood, this is going to be a 50-50 custody situation when she comes back to the United States. And this is the reality check for moms. It almost always ends up in 50-50 custody when you have a father who wants to be active in raising the child, or it could be a same-sex couple. When children are born into marriage, they presumptively are the legal child of that marriage. This father is very invested in being a parent. Maybe he's doing it to mess with her, but maybe he really wants to raise his child. And it's very important that people realize that fathers that spend time with their children, that ask for custody, they get custody a lot of the time. There was actually an article in this week's Wall Street Journal that fathers are spending 6 more hours per week with their children since the pandemic. Fathers are stepping up to raise their children. And mothers are stepping up in their careers. And you really can't have both happening without the other, right? If the mom is advancing in her career and the father, because of technology, is working from home or making a decision to spend time with their children, it's going to have an effect if the couple breaks up. And now I want to talk a little bit about breadwinners. This is really a warning to the breadwinners, the moms in this case. Wizard Liz is a breadwinner. She has the money. And if it ends up with 50-50 custody, she is going to end up paying child support. There is just no way around it. She is the moneyed mother, not the father. she's going to have to pay child support if her income is much higher than Landon's. So what does this all say? This is really saying that society is changing and the laws are catching up. And money is a big factor. Even if she had a prenup in a situation like this, in New York State anyway, prenups cannot protect you from a custody situation. You cannot agree in advance that the mother will get custody in a prenup. That prenup will not be enforceable. So lots of lessons here for this woman. I want to assume that she's really hurt by this situation, that she really does feel devastated that her child has been taken from her. And I have to say, this is where it's really not gender neutral. You know, you could have a breadwinner dad, and it's not the same as with a mom, and I'll tell you why. Mothers are not the same as fathers in the obvious sense that if she carried this child, and it's a newborn, she gave her body and her mind and carried this baby, and now probably really is missing this child because there's a whole hormonal aftershock that occurs after pregnancy and when children are very small. And it's all part of how children and mothers attach. Of course, fathers attach as well. And I want to be as gender neutral as possible, but let's be honest, it's not always the same.
If you've made it this far, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.